Hey guys, it's Anna again. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys had a happy holidays, happy break. Hope you're still enjoying your break if you're still on it. And of course, Happy New Year, happy 2021. I know it's just the start of the year, but I hope it's going really well, really smoothly for you so far. I hope you've been able to achieve your goals, your language goals. And this is my first video for the new year and a new start to my channel. I'm very excited. So for this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the languages I would like to learn in the future. Maybe I've dabbled in some of them a little bit here and there, but not committed to them. Some I can say I have dabbled a little bit here and there. Some I haven't even touched, even just a little bit, not even the alphabet, the basics, nothing, completely from scratch. And hopefully some of these I will be learning either this year or next year. Probably not this year because my plate is quite full. So probably into 2022, maybe even later on. So yeah, I'll just mention I think it's around 5 or 6 languages. Yes, around 5 or 6 languages I want to talk about today that I would like to one day learn in the future. So let's get to it. Alright, so on to the first language. The first language that I am really interested in learning in the future is LSQ, or in English, Quebec Sign Language, or Langue des Signes Québécoise. Now, why would I choose to learn this language? Well, of course, as you may not know, if you have not watched my previous 2 videos, if this is your first video, first of all, welcome. Also, if you have not watched my past 2 videos, I do sign ASL fluently as a second language, and I do speak English as well, of course. And I'm currently at a conversational level in French, but I'm currently working towards getting it to an advanced level. I do also live in Canada, so French and English are bilingual legal languages, as well as ASL and LSQ are also recognized sign languages. And as a future, and also, if you may not know, I am also currently studying to be an ASL to English, American Sign Language to English interpreter in school. I'm currently in my first year of university in that. And I do plan to work in the Canadian government, and of course, in the Canadian government, the legal languages are English and French, as well as ASL and LSQ. Now, I thought to myself, since I speak English, sign ASL fluently, and I can get my French to a fluent level, why not also add LSQ to my repertoire to use it in my professional life as an interpreter, to not only be able to interpret for English and ASL, but also French and LSQ. I do also, in general, have an interest in all of the local sign languages within Canada, but in particular, LSQ interests me the most just because it is so mutually intelligible to ASL, and the primary reason is to add it to my professional repertoire as a future ASL to English interpreter, and add, as I said previously, add French and LSQ as well. And I have watched a few videos here and there in LSQ teaching it, and I find it quite interesting. So yeah, I'd definitely love to one day learn LSQ. I have no idea when, hopefully soon, maybe sometime next year, if I can, find a class. Usually I can't find any classes unless they are in Quebec. I am not going to go into any personal details into where I live, but Quebec is our primary French francophone speaking region, and most of the LSQ classes are there. So of course I would have to, it would motivate me even more to be able to go to Quebec, use my French fluently, improve my French, and of course build onto that French knowledge with LSQ as well. So yeah. Alright, so the second language I do really want to learn one day in the future, this one I can see probably starting in 2022, sometime around there. And it may not be that surprising considering it's become a lot more popular to learn this language, which is a good thing, is Japanese. Now, I have dabbled a little bit in a few East Asian languages, including Korean, Vietnamese, Japanese as well. I have not yet dabbled in Mandarin. Um, Honestly, it kind of intimidates me a little bit with the writing system and the tones. um, but amongst those three languages that I just mentioned, Japanese is the one that stood out the most to me. And I have a little bit of a personal relationship with Japanese in a way. This is a little bit embarrassing to admit, but I was a huge anime fan. I still am, but not as big into it anymore. I'm into anime. I was really big into anime, very much into anime for, sorry there. I was very much into anime for several years. I still am, but not as much now as I was several years ago. And of course, all the anime is in Japanese. Um, and of course, I was also interested in Japanese music, including Vocaloid, which the majority of their songs are in Japanese. And also I do enjoy J-horror. As something you may not know about me that might be a little bit surprising is that I really love horror movies and just the horror genre in general. In particular, I do really love and appreciate J-horror and K-horror, but Korean does not really appeal to me as much, just personally, as Japanese does. And again, like I said, it's a little bit embarrassing to admit, but once I got into anime, I really started researching the culture, researching the customs and the language and the country itself. And after learning that, I gained such an interest and an appreciation for Japan and Japanese customs and traditions and culture. And I do actually have plans one day to travel to Japan, not live there permanently. I don't think, I don't see that being a part of my life. But I do want to travel to the country one day as a tourist. In particular, the major regions, Kyoto, Tokyo, all the major regions. I did try to learn it before. Kanji was very intimidating, very terrifying, but I'm so excited to get back onto the Japanese train and start learning it. I also think it's such a beautiful language, just the way it sounds. It's so melodic and rhythmic, and it's so smooth and musical into my ears. And I'm really kind of trying to, also, another motivator is to, I've learned mostly European languages up to this point, so I really kind of want to diversify my languages a little bit and learn an Asian language. And this is by far the only one that I'm interested in, that I am interested in. So yeah. Alright, so the third language that I would like to learn someday in the future, I have dabbled a little bit in this language, and again, I don't think it should be too surprising, but maybe a little bit, and that is Russian. Now, I have dabbled in Russian a little bit here and there. I learned the Cyrillic alphabet, I learned some basic greetings, but I never got really that far. To me, it is such an elegant, again, like I said, very elegant, prestigious language, and that's just my opinion. To me, it is such a beautiful language, and I know a lot of non-Russian speakers do give it Russian flack for sounding harsh and too technical, but I personally really appreciate it. And I am looking for a little bit of a challenge, and I know Russian will definitely deliver that, considering that I have dabbled a little bit in it, and I kind of got into the cases a little bit and a little bit into different verb tenses, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit more complicated than I thought, and I thought I would be able to bring my German knowledge to help me with Russian, do the cases and the long Russian words. This is the difficulty of German, but tenfold, so I'm really excited for that challenge. Another reason I really want to learn Russian is because I live in a dominantly speaking, my neighborhood is predominantly Russian. I hear, in fact, it's surprising, I actually hear more Russian on the streets than I hear English or any other language. And there are Russian stores and Russian grocery stores everywhere in my area. So I would love to just have a chat with the cashier, order something. order some meat or cheese in Russian, just have a great time with it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to my Russian journey. I don't know when I will start it, but hopefully soon. All right, so I don't know if you guys can notice, but it's actually a different day. I tried to be consistent with the same outfit and hairstyle, but this idea just came to me literally today that I did not think about yesterday. So I apologize if there's a little bit of inconsistency in this clip. Um, so yeah, I want to say the fourth language that I want to learn is someday is Persian or Farsi, but in English I believe it is known as Persian. So why this language? It seems that it's not a particularly popular language to learn, and I might be asked why not choose Arabic instead of Persian. And the truth is, I do have an interest in Arabic, and I would love to learn it one day. But as of now, I have dabbled a little bit in Persian here and there because I do have a little bit more of an interest in Persian and Iranian culture than I do with Arabic. It's nothing against Arabic, it's just a personal preference and personal interest I have right now. Also, for me, Persian is a little bit of a personal choice for me. As most of you will not know, I also write poetry on the side just as a personal interest, and I tend to read a lot of poetry on the side. It's poetry is a big part of my life, and in particular, Rumi is a poet that has really captured my attention in terms of being really impactful, not just in my style of poetry and how I write it, but also in the type of poetry I seek out. He's probably one of my favorite poets of all time, if not, like number one, top five of my favorite poets. And I do understand that the Persian language is a very poetic language, and it's very rich in poetry. And that's, from what I understand, that's what it's very well known for. So I do want to learn Persian. Of course, I would like to speak it because I do know we have quite a large Iranian um, and Afghan population here in Canada as well. So of course, I would love to use it to communicate with these communities as well. But it is primarily to read Persian poetry in its original language. That might make me sound a little nerdy, but it's true. In particular, understand Rumi, because I've only read Rumi in the English translation, but I feel like it's more authentic to get the text from its original source, its original language, which is Persian. So yeah, that's why I want to learn Persian. I don't have any particular set goals for this language or when I'm going to learn it. Maybe in 2022, along with Japanese. Who knows? But yeah, I would love to learn it one day. So yeah. All right, so the fifth and final language that I do hope to learn one day is Turkish. Now, to me, um, of course, I've been studying German for a long time, and I am aware that in Germany there is quite a significant community, a significant number of Turkish speakers. And I've heard from people who have gone to Germany that they heard more Turkish on the street than German. And to me, and not so, of course, for me, with an interest in Germany and the German language, and one day going to Germany, of course, I will continue with my German studies. But if Turkish is a common language there, even though it's not the official language, of course, I would love to communicate with more people in that region. Um, I also find the language, I'm a little bit of a grammar nerd, so I find the language quite interesting in terms of its vowel harmony. Now, I've never learned a language that has vowel harmony as part of the language rules, and it sounds really challenging to learn to me, as someone who does not speak it nor has ever learned it. If you are learning or if you speak Turkish, you can definitely correct me if I'm wrong on that. If vowel harmony is easy to learn or not, in your opinion. But I'm so interested in that as a grammar nerd personally, and I do know that Turkish is a little bit more challenging, just as a language in general, more so than the previous, like I said, the previous Romance and Germanic languages that I have learned. So I'm really, really excited for the challenge. Now I think about it, most of the languages on this list is consistent of languages that are a little bit more challenging. Russian, Turkish, Japanese, LSQ is not that hard. Um, there's another language that I'm forgetting. Japanese, right. These are not particularly easy languages if you've only learned Romance and Germanic languages up to this point, like me. But I am really excited, and I wanted to say, I did actually, in one of my classes in the last year, I actually had a fellow classmate who was Turkish, and she shared a little bit of her language with me. And I was like, she shared some aspects of her language with me, and I was like, wow, this is such a, I know nothing about Turkish, but this is such a, like, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it sounds like such a beautiful language, and I love the rhythm of Turkish. And I have no set plan for when to learn it. But yeah, I'm really excited to one day get started on Turkish. All right, so that's it. Those are the 5 main languages that I would like to learn sometime in the future. After I'm finished improving and getting to a pretty advanced level in my already existing languages. Of course, I'm still going to continue to work on and maintain these languages respectively, but these are the main ones that I would like to move on to sometime in the future. Still not sure yet. Of course, there are many other languages that I would like to learn in my lifetime, but that video would be like an hour long. So these are just the main ones that I want to discuss today. So yeah, if you've studied any of these languages or if you speak any of these languages, definitely let me know down below what you think the most difficult aspect of one of these languages are. Or the easiest part of this language, or what you like about this language, why you started learning it, any resources or tips you have for learning these languages. I would definitely love to know down below if you'd like to share. I know for Japanese, it's definitely going to be the kanji most challenging. Russian, verbs of motion and the cases. That sounds really scary. Persian, I think getting used to the script. I think the script might be a little bit challenging, and pronunciation. Turkish, I think it's definitely going to be vowel harmony and cases as well. LSQ, I don't see myself having too much trouble with it. So yeah, that's all for now. Definitely I meant to say, before I sign off, definitely like, subscribe, leave a comment. I always check my comments. I love reading your guys' comments. You guys are awesome. And again, happy learning and take care. Bye-bye.